Hello everyone, this is John Galt speaking, here with another live stream for you guys where I'm going to take questions, maybe go to the Unreal 4 forums, screw around, see if there's anything we can talk about, and just random crap. Not really doing anything, maybe tell you guys what my plans are, what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do. You know, I got like 3 people that hang out here, so that's all right though. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you guys. Galt, if you would schedule streams, people might come. If you would post somewhere, people might come. Hey, Mr. Scott Lang. I have updates today, so let me get me a drink here. I have updates. I have good news. I have bad news. And I have ugly news. Right? So we got all kinds of news today. Let me light me a smoke. Not supposed to be smoking in my house, but it's my house, right? So I can smoke in it if I want to. I did an extreme clean on my house, probably a little over a year ago, and washed all the walls, got all the nicotine stains off, changed all the blinds out that were nicotine stained. And after I put all the work in doing that in, I swore I would never smoke in here again because that's what caused it, obviously. And I don't, right? But except for when I do these live streams. Even when I'm working, I don't smoke in here. I can just step outside. My little office area is right close to the front door. I actually have another room in my house that used to be, but I got tired of sitting in there. I felt like I was in a dungeon. So I moved operations out into a different room. But anyway, I swore I wasn't going to smoke in here anymore because of that. So only when I do these live streams, and the reason is because if you guys are here, I don't want to say, okay, guys, hang tight. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. Okay, so I guess we'll start out with the good news. So the good news is an update from yesterday's video about the multiplayer TPS basic update. Guess what? Now, when you create an Unreal Engine 5 version, guess what happens? It's fixed, right? They fixed it. And it took, I don't know, 2 more times for them to get it right. They had to do some internal testing. They finally tracked down what was causing it. And they fixed it. So this video here is just to show you guys that that's correct now. So if you guys have this product, if you own this, if you bought this, and you downloaded the 5 version, Unreal Engine 5 version, you need to delete it and re-download it, because if you still have the old version, it won't work, okay? So this is the good news. They finally got this fixed. So I'll just show you guys real quick. So now, when you come in here and you hit play, go in single player, voila, we have a map now. Well, I'm a son of a son of a son. Okay, and then we'll go back to the main menu. And if you go in multiplayer and host up a game, well, I'm a son of a son of a son. Right, so they fixed it. Yay, go Epic. You guys rock. And I'll go ahead and open up map 2 real quick to make sure that that part got put in here. Remember, for some reason, nobody reported this, and I have no idea why. Most people are anal about these things. Remember this said map 1? Well, I fixed it, and now it's map 2. Right? It said map 1. I don't know how I missed that, but it's working now. Okay. And so the video that was talking about the updates to this is still the same, right? You can swap gender now by a key press. You can change between the male and the female. Okay. Nothing fancy. It was a minor update, but it was actually a major update because of all the shit that I had to change. But anyway, whatever. That's not y'all guys' problem. That's my problem. So that means that now I have 2 more products to update. One is going to get updated for sure, which is the multiplayer FPS basic. That one's going to get updated next. And I'm still debating about the teams and class select. That thing may actually require an entire rebuild in order to get it to function correctly. And since I only sell that little template for $6, it may not be worth the effort required in order to make that compliant with Unreal Engine 5. Just may not. So I may not update that one. So that's the good news. They got the multiplayer TPS fixed. Now we're going to move on to the bad news. So for those of you that stuck around to the end of the stream yesterday where we was dicking around, and we come to the conclusion that the Lyra project, the simple variant of the UE4 skeleton was what was causing the issue when you export animations out of Lyra and then bring them in on the simple UE4 new skeleton, UE5 skeleton. I'm going to get this wrong, so guys, forgive me on that. UE4, UE5, whatever. They put lipstick on a pig. This is essentially what happened, but whatever. I did a little bit more investigation discovery today because I wanted to be 100% positive that that was actually what the issue was. Turns out it has nothing to do with the skeleton. Let me repeat that. Exporting animations out of the Lyra project and seeking to use them in another project on the new UE5 mannequin, it has nothing to do with it being the simple skeleton versus the complex skeleton with the issue with the wrist snapping up, right? So that's what was at the end of yesterday's video. I would like to show you guys actually what the problem is. And remember, this is the part of the stream where we're talking about the bad news. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a default third-person template in Unreal Engine 5. Then we're going to create a Lyra project. And we're going to snatch out a single animation. I do have chat open, by the way, so I'll get with you guys here in just a minute. Let me get revved up here. Hawkeye, you can ask your question of what kind of tutorial you're looking for. You can ask that in chat since I'm here live. But generally the way that it works, just so you guys know for everybody else, before you send me a nickel, okay, if you're wanting to request a tutorial on a specific topic, email me first to ask what it is that you would like to be covered. When I get that, I will get back to you and let you know whether I would be interested in covering that topic or not. If I choose to cover that topic, that's when I will tell you in the email, hey, I'll cover it if you'll make a contribution of $10 or $20 or whatever. It depends on how complex it is, honestly. And then after I receive the payment for the tutorial, a couple days after that is when I'll get everything put together to cover the topic. Okay. Here in Galt's Gulch, most of the time we do it live, right? So I don't pre-plan things. I don't pre-build things. We go 100% live on the fly. But generally when somebody's willing to make a contribution for a tutorial over a specific topic, I try to pre-plan that one a little bit so that you get more bang for your buck. In other words, and I'm not sitting here going, well. So those I generally do pre-build. And then basically I just rebuild it on a live stream using the original build as a reference. Okay. So let me go ahead and create the Lyra project here. And the sole purpose of this is to talk about the issue and what it actually ended up being. Any of you guys actually have any idea what it is? Before I let the cat out of the bag, remember, this is bad news. Okay, this is the part of the stream which we had good news. My template's fixed and updated correctly. We have bad news, which is what we're covering now. And after we cover the bad news, then we'll talk about the ugly news. So we got a little bit of everything today. Okay. All right. So now we will go in here and swap an animation. I actually have my air conditioner on today. I was sweating to death yesterday. Whew, I'm sleepy as hell today. Been that way for a few days, actually. These ascension symptoms are killing me. And kudos to anybody who knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so we need to filter by animation sequence. And we are going to get the rifle jog forward. That's what we're looking for. And it makes no difference if it's the male or the female. We're just going to get the mannequin female rifle jog forward. And we are going to export that to the desktop. Like so. And we're going to uncheck all this stuff. You don't need that. You really don't. I don't guess. I know I don't use it. Okay. So now we're going to go back into the default third person template that we created. And we're going to add a new folder. And we're going to call this testing. I sure do a lot of testing, don't I? All I ever get done is testing. I don't ever get to build anything. All I do is try to find broke shit and try to explain why it's broke. Okay? Okay. So now we're going to export out the characters, right? Because I want to really hammer this in just so to make sure that you guys really understand what the dilemma is here. So we're literally going to export the complex Manny, the simple Manny, the complex Quinn, and the simple Quinn. Okay, so we're going to right click, asset actions, export. These are going to the desktop. And we can uncheck all this stuff. We don't need this. And we're going to do them all. Okay. So in the previous video, yesterday's video, I thought I had narrowed down what the actual hell was going on here. And we had narrowed it down to it was the simple skeletons that were causing the issue. So I'm going to import from the desktop. We will do the Manny simple. And we're going to let it create its own skeleton. So we're not going to plug in any kind of skeleton in here. We're going to tell it to use the physics asset that is in here, right? This is the default physics asset from Epic. We are also going to tell it not to create new materials, and we do not need textures, and we do not need any animations, and we're going to say go. Okay. And luckily, it auto-assigned the material. So that's good. We didn't have to put it on there. So there he is, right? And this was the simple one. So now we're going to bring in that animation from the Lyra project, and we're going to make sure that we tell it to use the mannequin that we just created from that export, right? And so you can see there where it says preview skeleton, that's which one it's going to use, and it's in the testing folder. So it is in fact this skeleton that's in here, okay? And we're going to say go. And it's going to tell you that there's a lot of bones missing. And that's because this is the simple skeleton, not the complex skeleton. And so the issue that we were talking about in yesterday's video, these all have root motion. So you actually have to force root lock. So what we were talking about is if you bring that animation in and you look at the wrist of this character, it's crunched. Okay. And once again, it makes no difference if it's male, female, it doesn't matter. We're just going to really hammer home what's going on here so that everybody understands. And this is bad news, by the way. So that's the problem. It's the animation, like, it's not terrible, right? Like, it looks okay, you know, but in particular, what I noticed when I first did this was this wrist is collapsed, right? It looks like it needs blew up. It's out of gas. It's out of air. Okay. So now what we're going to do is delete every single bit of this. Okay. And we're going to do this again with the complex skeleton, because that's what I thought was actually causing the issue. Okay. So now we're going to import the complex mannequin, right? So we're going to say, okay, same as before, we're going to let it generate its own skeleton. We do not want it to create a physics asset. We're going to assign the one that's in here. And as before, we don't need any materials, no textures. Or any of that stuff. Okay. And as before, it pre-assigned the material and it created the complex skeleton this time around, not the simple one. So now we're going to import that animation again. And we're going to tell it to use the skeleton in this testing folder. And we're going to open it. And we're going to pause it. And we're going to force root lock once again. And we're going to look at that wrist. And it's still crushed. Okay. So it has nothing to do with the skeleton. Nothing. 0.0. Now I'm going to show you guys what is actually causing this issue. So we're going to delete all this stuff again. And this time around, we're going to import the animation only, but we're going to let it use the skeletons that are already in here. Okay. These are the ones that come in the default third-person template. First, we're going to start out with the simple skeleton that's already in here. Okay, so we're going to import that animation and we're going to select the only skeleton that's in here. Pay attention here, guys, because this is strange to me. So this is the default UE4 skeleton. So it's not that one, it's this one. Okay, and we're going to say import all. We're going to open this. And we're going to pause this. We're going to force root lock, and we're going to go have a look at that wrist. Okay. And there it is. It's collapsed again. Let me go ahead and put this on the dude, the simple dude. See that? It's collapsed. Same as before. Now, If we switch this over to be the non-simple skeleton by selecting this, look at that, the wrist is fixed. And I thought that that's what it was, right? Okay, well, the simple skeleton, it's collapsing the wrist. You have to use the non-simple one. But then I noticed this big blaring yellow box sticking in my face here. I never pay attention to this. I guess I should, because this is the problem. It says right here, it says post-process animation blueprint, ABP Manny post-processing is running. Now this is new to me. Now, if you disable this, watch that wrist. Bam. And not only does it collapse the wrist, watch back here at this pelvis area. Do you see it? So they are using a post-process animation blueprint on these characters in this project. And also that means in the Lyra project. See? Enabled, disabled. Watch his shoulders and stuff. See this? And then if you go back to the simple skeleton, it does not give you the, it's not using the post-process animation, which means if you use the simple, it's always going to be broke like that. But if you use the complex skeleton, which is in fact using post-process, it's correct by enabling and disabling. See? And that's the same for the female, right? So if you pick the Queen, this is the non-simple. You can see that that wrist looks fine, but the moment that you disable the post-process, it collapses the wrist. Okay? And then once again, the simple variants of these skeletons, it's not using the post-process at all. At all. So now you guys might be asking yourself, which I was at this particular time, what in the fuck is a post-process animation blueprint? What is it? What's it for? What's it do? And why do we have to have that? So if we go back to the complex skeleton, male or female, you can hit this button right here that says edit. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a post-process animation blueprint for the Manny. Okay. Now, if we switch over to the female non-simple and we go to edit, guess what? There is another one for the female. So the male character, non-simple, has its own post-process animation blueprint. The female, non-simple, has its own post-process animation blueprint. And I have no fucking idea what this does, what it's for, why it's here, how come it exists. But what I find really strange is that it says that these nodes that it's using here are still in an experimental state. And every one of these that you click, you can see over here in this screen, it's got this weird, whatever the hell this stuff is, and there's values in here, and it's for specific bones and stuff. Okay, axis length 20, 1 point. Somebody at Epic Games poked all these values and shit in here. They set this stuff up. Somebody at Epic did. What happens when you tinker with these? I have no fucking idea. Okay, I'm sure it changes something. And look how many of these there are. And each one of them's got different type values in them. You've got one for the left arm, and then you got, if you see the source here, it tells you that's the clavicle left, the upper arm left, the lower arm left, and the hand. Then you got the left leg, okay? And you've got the thigh left, the calf left, the foot left, and then on and on and on. And that's all of them, right? All these. But what else you have, oddly enough, is if you look here, it's got this control rig shit plugged into it as well. And if you double click this node, you have all this that we talked about in one of these other videos, which I was trying to get the fuck away from. Okay, not using this bullshit. Okay, so there it is, right? So you have, it's using this control rig that somebody at Epic set this up. And also what's really the pisser about all this is, you know, I mean, look, it's got type, bone, upper arm left, local space. And then you got get transform this bone, right? Upper arm left, blah, blah, blah. And then you got this make relative shit. And then you got this, and it's got values and shit in it. And then you got inverse that and interpolate this, multiplied by that, divided by the 8th of infinity and beyond, and on and fucking on and fucking on and fucking on. Okay? Which is a disaster, in my opinion. Okay? I mean, what do you change in here? Like, okay, that wrist was flipped. Well, which one of these fucking widget digits in here did they fuck with to make that wrist not be flipped like that? I have no idea. Okay? I don't know. And I never will know. And I bet anybody else don't fucking know. Except for the guy who maybe built this shit, whoever works at Epic. Okay? And I think if you double click these pose driver, right? When you open up these, look at this shit, right? It's got all this stuff in here. Got values in it. And when you dick with these values, look what it does, right? It moves shit. So at 0, it's neutral, and you can go negative and positive, and it wiggles the arm a little bit. And this one fucking wiggles that one a little bit, and that one a little bit. Okay. And then when I'm sure there's some other shit in here that I'm not seeing, right? Like there's some values and shit that they poked and tinkered with in here. Who fucking knows, right? And it uses all these little weird ass pose animations that we talked about in one of those other videos. I'm like, what the fuck are all these pose animations? Who made these? What are they for? And why the hell do we need them? Okay. Well, there you go. All that shit is used in the post-process animation blueprint, which is somehow tacked on top of the original animation blueprint. So if we go into the characters here, into the animations, see, you've got a blueprint for the male, and you've got a blueprint of the female. And the female blueprint is actually a child blueprint of this fucking blueprint. So you've got this blueprint, which is the original. Then they made a child blueprint of that one and made this one. And then not only that, you've got all this rig bullshit that's tied into it somehow. See, so you've got the Manny post-process, you've got the Quinn post-process, you've got this rig shit that's tied into this, and you've got this foot IK shit, and all this, and all this, and all this, and all this, and all that. And it's all fucking tied together, and it's a big hot ass mess. Okay. So there is the bad news. So the bad news is this. If you intend to try to create a simplified version of a third-person shooter template, which was exactly what I was trying to do, by using the simple skeleton, you know, going into the Lyra project and drawing out some animations to put in to make the character have strafing movements, getting rid of all this post-process, this rig control, that, etc., etc. The bad news is those animations minus all this stuff are not going to look correct. Some of them will, but a lot of them are not. So in that one video where I was describing the issue that I was having with the female animations that I got out of the Lyra project, remember when I first set up that third-person starter project that I was working on? I had where you could be a male or a female, and the female actually used female animations for part of her animations, and the strafing shit was weird. Her feet were acting weird. And I thought that the reason it was doing that was because of some of that extra data that they added into those animations, like the left foot plant, the right foot plant, the curve this, the curve that. Well, turns out it had nothing to do with that. What it has everything to do with is these post processes. My character that I created does not have this bullshit on purpose, intentionally. The problem with that is that some of those animations are not going to act properly if they do not have this post-process shit. Okay? So that's the bad news. If you intend to use those animations in the Lyra project and you want to start from scratch and create your own starter project using those animations, they're not going to work correctly because it's missing all this extra bullshit that they set up in this default third person project, which is, it probably has the same shit in that Lyra project if you really went in there and poked around and looked. That's the bad news. The uglier news is this. It seems as though if we're going to snatch those Lyra animations out and actually use them and utilize them, the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we actually start from their fucked up, convoluted, chemically neutered third person template, because there's no way in fucking God's green earth that any normal human being can go in here and recreate all this bullshit that they made in a blank project. Okay. And on top of that, the whole purpose was to get away from this shit. And turns out you can't. Well, I wouldn't say can't. Obviously you can, because I did it. The problem is that I was planning on using all those animations and foregoing all the bullshit they did. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that because every single one of the rifle animations at a bare minimum, the goddamn wrist is going to be collapsed on every single one of them, which is going to look like ass. So, and you know, I'm pretty sure that the feet shuffling issue that I was having with those female animations are due to the fact that it's not using this post process. They put some tweaks in there to correct some animation issues that were had when those animations were made. They put them on the character and they're like, oh wow, well, these animations look kind of fucked up. These wrists are collapsed. I know what we can do. Let's put a control rig in, and then we'll put these values in here, and then we'll put this post-process shit on. Then we'll do this, and then we'll create all these poses, and we can go in here and dial in those little values so that we can unflip that fucking wrist, right? That's exactly what they've done here. So, you guys remember that I've said this in the past. There's only two ways that you can go about using a game engine. Either you have to create custom assets for what it is you're trying to do, or you have to create scripting, coding to make the available assets that you have do what it is that you're trying to do. It can only go one of two ways. You can't have both, right? Because if you do, you're just going to have a big conglomerate mess of a project that nobody will ever be able to make heads or tails out of, because this one you had to do post-process to fix all these fucked up animations, but these ones work just fine, so it don't have it, right? So you guys see what I'm getting at. Conformity matters. So instead of correcting the animations that were probably retargeted from some other bullshit that they had, truth be known, they're probably goddamn Paragon animations, and they retargeted them from Paragon characters over to this new mannequin that they created, and they didn't come over retargeted quite correctly. And so somebody went in there and set all this convoluted bullshit up so that they could tweak and dial out the errors that were in the animations. That's probably what happened here. Just the same as when they went from the blue Michelin Man dummy that they used to have in Unreal Engine 4 to the new gray dude that came in. whenever that transition occurred, all they did was take the Michelin Man animations and retarget them over to the new one. And then there was all sorts of problems with it. Okay, and they've done the same thing again. Great. Okay, so that's that's it. That's the good news, the bad news, and the ugly news. So the Scott Lang news is this. So he made a contribution to my efforts here, and I told him that, you know, I'm working on my own starter third person project and first person project, with the intention being that I was going to create a basic menu system, basic movement of the character, for a third person and a first person. And the goal was to use all those animations that were in the Lyra project, bring them out of Lyra and put them in, and make full on strafing movement with turn in place animations, right? The whole 9 yards. Well, I can't do that now because of this. So either I'm just going to have to scrap the whole notion of doing my own custom first person and third person starter projects to avoid all this nonsense, or I'm going to have to create those starter projects using the default third person template as a starting point because it has all this bullshit in it. So I haven't decided yet exactly what I'm going to do and which route I'm going to go, but I can tell you right now, I'm not thrilled. I'm literally not thrilled. Now, granted, I don't have to use those damn animations, right? And I could forego this bullshit. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a good custom third person starter project with a large plethora of different animations, non-combat animations, crouch animations, start and stop run, start and stop jog, turn in place, rifle animate. I mean, it would be nice to have access to all those animations. It really would. But the only way that I can do that successfully would be to start from a default third person template, which kind of defeats the whole fucking purpose of doing it in the first place. So I don't know. The Mixamo animations, I wouldn't use those. It's just my personal preference. I've always hated them. I just never have liked them. They've got their own proprietary skeleton. Yes, you can retarget, and yes, you can do this, and yes, you can do that. But I'm a very firm advocate of you should be using animations that were created for the specific skeleton hierarchy you intend on using. So if you're doing a UE4 project, that means you should be using animations that were specifically created for the default dummy mannequin. And if you're going to be doing UE5 at this point, you should be using animations that were created specifically for the new dummy. And that's just my philosophy. That's the way that I choose to do things, because any of you guys, I mean, I don't know if you guys have done it or not. Have you guys worked with a large amount of animations? It is a nightmare to get a decent locomotion system set up. And when I say decent locomotion, I mean something as smooth looking as what's in the Lyra project. You got starts and stops. You've got IK. You've got no foot sliding, right? And you've got all that stuff. And when you get into using different animations or different characters that are not conforming to the default one, all you ever do is find yourself in a complete retarget loop. Ah, shit, I've got to retarget this goddamn animation over to this skeleton. Well, shit, that one ain't going to work on that one. So I got to retarget from there to there and from there to there. And this character has not got the same skeleton as that character. So now I got to retarget from here to here. And I've got to put them all in a T pose. And, oh shit, this one's in an A pose and this one's in a T pose. Well, son of a bitch, right? So to me, and also another thing to keep in mind too, is every time you retarget, it creates duplicates of the assets. So let's say, for example, you had a project that you constructed and you put a locomotion system together, and you ended up having 150 animations in toto. Well, if you bring in a different character that uses a different skeleton hierarchy and you retarget, you just doubled the amount of animations that you have in your project, right? Because it duplicates them. That's how it does it. So there was one project that I worked with one time that I had 798 animations in toto. And if I duplicated that, retargeted it, that'd be 1,400 goddamn animations. No, it's just, no. Okay, let me bring Chad over here and get caught up, and then I guess we'll move on to something else. I've harped on this long enough here. Oh, so Alardin, it's Saturday, so he must be from across the pond. So happy Saturday to you. Scott Lang, hello. I answered about if you wanted to request a tutorial thing. Hello, Oni, what's happening? Cool as always with his shades on. Hello, War Machine. Roman's Rooftop, Wooden Mixamo. So yes, I talked about that, and he says that makes sense. I have. It's a pain. You're correct. It absolutely is. And then Scott Lang asked, can you fix the Manny like you fixed Twin Blast? Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do just yet. Okay. But I do know one thing that is for sure. I like to keep it simple, stupid. And this in the default third person UE5 template is not the way. Okay. Because that's a big convoluted hot mess. So I'm either going to have to, use some different animations like the Paragon animations to get this done the simplified way, but a lot of those animations are still going to have some corrections made to them in order to get them to look exactly correct on the default UE4 mannequin or the UE5 mannequin. I don't know. It's going to take a lot more experimentation and testing before I make a final decision. It's a shame that all that work I've already done on those two projects is for naught now. I should have done a little bit more investigation before I committed to doing it. So Danny K asks about, have you tried retargeting at runtime? It's much easier since you don't have to duplicate the animations. Well, once again, Danny, it's as simple as this. If you're using the default UE4 skeleton, you should use animations that match. If you're using the new UE5 mannequin, whether it be the simple or the non-simple, you should use animations that are made for it. And another thing to think about, I don't know, I've never tried what you're talking about, but another thing to think about too is optimization. How much engine horsepower does it take to run the process, whatever that process is, of doing retargeting in real time instead of, doing it the other way, right? Like, I'm sure there's a cost to that. Just like with this rig, right? Like if you were to try to do 100% procedural animation, there's a cost to that. There's nothing free. So how much meaning if you try to do a multiplayer game and you've got 10 players on a map and they're all running procedural animation or procedural retargeting, is everybody going to lag like ass, right? I don't know. That would require some testing, but there's definitely a cost to it, I'm sure. Ain't nothing free in this world. Nothing. Even free animations ain't free because you got to go in there and fix a bunch of them. Okay. So that's really all I have. I just wanted to clarify the end of yesterday's live stream. Thought I'd found the issue. Oh, well, fine. I can be okay with using all these extra bones. That's fine. As long as these animations look good, that's fine. Turns out that ain't what it was anyway. Damn it. Okay, so what do you guys want to do now? All this fucking bullshit they put in here, and the only goddamn difference is this. Oh, look, her foot. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so beautiful. Her foot's not floating in midair anymore. That's just so beautiful. I love it. I'm in love with you. Shh. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, guys. Can you tell I'm a little bit out of shape about that? I am. Mechanically, there's no goddamn difference between this one and the old one. A new mannequin, couple new animations for the chick, and IK, and that's it. And it costs all this fucking child's this and pose that, and I just don't see why it's worth it. Like, I really just don't. But, you know, that's just me. That's just me. David Smiley says, create some different slope gradients and the foot IK starts to get wonky, so their system is not perfect. No, it ain't. And if you missed yesterday's stream, David, we was in the Lyra project. They've got the newbie mistake of the century, where you can take the weapon and shoot around fucking corners. Right in their demonstration project, it's got the noob mistake right in it. Built right in. Right? Didn't even bother to solve it. Whatever. Ain't my stuff. I just wanted the animations, particles, and stuff out of it. And I may still end up doing that, but I don't know, guys. It's going to be, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know. Going to have to do something, though. Unfortunately. And here's another thing. The last launcher update, I noticed that now when you right click here, there's no option to delete your projects anymore. Why the hell did they do that? Do they like never want you to delete a project anymore? Why did they do that? Did I even try like selecting it and hitting the delete key? I don't know. Does that work? Probably not. Now you got to go in your goddamn project directory and delete the shit. Whatever. All this UE5 has done is give me a case of the red ass. Like literally, that's all it's done. That's all it's accomplished. Well, I guess it's time to go to the forums now. We'll go surf around the forums. You guys can ask questions and stuff. Maybe we'll go into the engine and do something. I don't know. This stream's probably not going to be 4 hours like the one that I did the other day. Holy hell's bells. Danny K asks, Have I tried using Niagara? Seems like it's the new particle system. It definitely is the new particle system. And no, I never did even use Cascade that much. I think I made like one fucking laser beam one time, and it was like trying to figure out Egyptian hieroglyphics. So I was like, okay, so I'm not the particle guy. That's somebody else's job. I'm not doing it. So I'm sure Niagara would be the same. I'm sure it's great and it's fantastic, but I don't know shit about that kind of stuff. I'm not the art guy. I'm not the animator guy either, but I still get stuck doing a lot of that too. Okay. So we're in the multiplayer section here. Let's see. We was just in here the other day. Let's see if there's any new stuff. How to make network between two players. Form the editor without packaging the project. Oh, and by the way, guys, one more thing I want to mention here. Even with the updates that I'm doing to my projects, they're still broken. Okay. And I will show you guys. I'll put the link in there, and for anybody who sees this video, go upvote this. Okay. So on any of my products here, I put this note on here that as of 4.27, they broke Steam multiplayer. And you can click this and it'll bring up this. And you have to log in and you get to vote. So this is broken. And it's still broken, right? So they broke this in 4.27, and it's going to remain broken until engine version 5.1. I don't know when that's coming out, right? They're on 5.0.1. So it may be 6 months before they actually get to 5.1. So if you guys go log in here and upvote this, it might light a fire under their ass and they might fix it sooner. Okay. The only way that you can get around this at this particular time is to use Advanced Sessions plugin, which then means in any of my projects, you have to install the Steam Advanced Sessions plugin, and then you have to go in there and replace every create session and join session node with the Advanced Sessions versions. And I can't put that in there and leave it on the marketplace because we are not, as content creators, we are not allowed to include third-party plugins in our products. So this is going to remain broken until they fix it. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Not a single damn thing. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Replicated properties versus RPCs. Replication order guarantees. Server hosting advice. A holistic look at replicated movement. Testing, profiling, debugging, replicated T-array not being called, Unreal Engine dedicated server not working, client travel call from server. My goal is to change map on client and keep connection stay. The client can't initiate map travel. That's a server only thing. Unless you're doing some sort of a dedicated server or something. I mean, I'm sure it can be done, but the way the engine works in default, the only one that can initiate map travel is the server. And right here, cannot host Steam sessions. So that's exactly the bug that I was just talking about. Well, this one says 4.26, 4.27, and 5. So maybe they broke it in 4.26. I don't know. Rotation replication problem, issues with AI controller based on top-down character. The UE4 game has crashed and will close. Fatal error. Gas abilities doesn't replicate to client. And I believe all the rest of these. Line tracing not hitting anything when replicated. Well, that's probably because they don't have it set up correctly, right? I mean, most of the things that people have issues with is because they do not have it set up to replicate properly. There is a very specific way that replication has to be done. And some things the server has to do. Some things the client only has to do. Some things the server has to tell the client to do. Some things the client has to ask the server to do. Some things has to be multicast. Some things has to be set to be replicated variable or not. Some things have to be rep notified and not. And it takes a long time, really, to get proficient at figuring out what has to be done by who and why. And so if we were to look at this, let's just go in here and actually see what he's trying to do here. I've spent the last week trying to get this to work and pretty much given up. It works fine offline and when there is a listen server involved, but whenever it's just two clients, the line trace either doesn't fire or doesn't hit anything, and I can't figure out which. I don't want to see his video. I could probably just look at this and tell you what it is. Damn, can we not make it any bigger than that? So he's checking the weapon here. This is a client, right? So this is a client and it's coming into this. It's validating this and it's validating this on the client, which you really shouldn't be doing that. The server should be doing all your validations. And it's doing a print string, so that's wrong. And then you've got server on stop fire, multicast. There should never be, I mean, that should only be for the effects of the weapon, right? Potentially. I mean, we've set this up on this YouTube page a million times, right? And I show exactly how the flow of this is supposed to go. And so, I mean, I could look at this all day and probably never figure out what's broken. But I can tell you that this is incorrect, right? You should be creating a server event. The client should ask the server to run the server event. Then you should be doing any validation in that. The server should be checking to make sure you've got a gun, the gun's valid, you've got ammo, etc., etc. Then you should create a client event, run on only client, which then the server instructs the client to run a line trace, right? So the server tells the client to run the line trace. After the client runs the line trace, all the data that's gathered, what you hit, etc., etc., then you go back up onto the server, and the server's the one that should either administer damage if it's a hit scan, or the server should spawn a projectile if it's a projectile. Then after that's completed, then you have the server run a multicast, which does your firing sound, your muzzle flash, your impact effects, and your impact sounds. And that's the flow. Client, server, validate, server, instruct client, run line trace. Client runs line trace, gathers data. That data is transferred to the server. The server then administers damage or spawns a projectile. Then the server calls multicast. Multicast displays all the effects of the weapon. And the weapon itself has to be set to be a replicated actor if that's how you did it. And that is how that works. And so the reason that he's not getting any hit results or anything, it's because he's either having the server run the line trace, or he's trying to multicast some kind of line trace. It ain't set up correctly. Did anybody even answer him? And then the line trace is only replicated on the server and it's supposed to ignore the character. Also, when testing offline, the trace works as intended. On fire function, sorry, couldn't fit it in the screenshot. Yeah, I missed your video, but the video shows that the line trace does not hit anything as it prints out nothing. My guess is that your weapon property is only set on the client and therefore is not replicated to the server, resulting in line trace length of 0. So I did some testing at the end of the start vectors, works fine. It's just the location output is 0. But the weird thing is, on one part of the wall, everything works as intended, except for the impact particle spawning. And now I'm even more confused. Somebody needs to link him to the video where I actually set that up, right? I think I did it. I don't remember which video it's in. It's where I was talking about my simple capture the flag template. Somebody was giving me shit because I didn't have any firing mechanics or anything in it. And I was like, well, let me just show you how you put a gun on this sumbitch and get it shooting. And we set up the attaching the weapon, creating the weapon blueprint, attaching the weapon blueprint. And we went through all the firing logic. So, yeah, I don't want to do that again. We already did that. Okay. Well, I mean, it says since my last visit, so I guess it's time to move on. And we'll just go into complete blueprints. There's that blueprint ninja challenge dude again. Challenge you to make a ninja blueprint. I want to see how you did it. And nobody will answer my question. So I challenge you to make a ninja so that I can copy everything that you do. I don't know if that's really what's going on there, but whatever. I just run my mouth a lot. How do I run the same event multiple times independently of each other? I don't know. Don't have any idea. What are you trying to do? Collisions with world space widget components, UE5. How do I make a day-night cycle in UE5 with the moon? Navigate a uniform grid panel with controller. Hob dev climbing tutorial not working. Imagine that. Somebody made a tutorial that don't work. No AWS script. Having trouble getting my text to string properly. Set view target with blend resets. I think we read that the other day. Some of these may have got bumped. I think it puts a line where I left off at, but whatever. Manually destroying particles in Niagara. Multiple rotations instead of negative 180 and 180. Live link of third-party program and packaged project. Hidden grid on blueprint viewport. Is it possible to read the image from byte array? Images with a drop-down menu. How to get rotation from 2 world vectors through blueprint operation world outliner. How do I use a strut in a save game object? Well, there's a lot of people wanting that save game stuff here lately. I've never done that. One of these days I'm gonna have to sit down and actually try to set up a save game state just to see if I can do it. It ain't today though, I can tell you that. Character stops after triggering an animation. Placing a new static camera. Resolved. Changing side scroller camera. How can I make a police wanted level system like in Grand Theft Auto? How do I set a value in a map? Don't put shit in level blueprints. Pixel art render canvas is blurry. Fully controllable pulse rect lights blueprint. Chaos vehicle moving forward but not backward. Check your input controls. One's supposed to be 1 and the other one -1. That's probably what's broke. Just guessing. Then again, if you're using the Epic stuff, it could just be broke. Requesting community help for working save manager, save actor array, and load. How to make right content placement in content browser. Simple question about float type in blueprints. It's resolved. Join session not working, or am I doing something wrong? Depends on the engine version. UE 4.27, it's fucking broke. Go vote the bug up so that they'll fix that son of a bitch. Mario double jump. Emitter delay when spawned. Smooth spring arm for third person. Static mesh fixed to parent scale when attached to another mesh in blueprint. Load the model into the scene by blueprint editor mode. How to keep actor between levels using blueprints. I'm pretty sure that everything actor-wise gets destroyed when you map travel. So what you would do is you would save it in the player controller. You could probably do it. Maybe even in the player state, you would save a reference to it. Then when you get to the new level, you respawn it again and then put it back. That's how that would work. Probably. Random integer in range from stream. Floating pawn movement won't respond to any changes. Where is current anim layer loaded in Lyra? Input action reload action is missing. Log in using Google Play. How many render targets can I create at runtime before there is a performance hit? I don't know. All right, let's bounce out of here. Maybe we can find something else to get into. AI, UI, multiplayer. I guess that's pretty much the end of that. Character and animation. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. I guess we could go in here. The damn topic I hate the most. Why are my meta human character's legs clipping through her pants? Question. Towards IK and self-collision penetration. Setting up multi-camera switching and back to third person. Unresolved. Camera switching ain't too bad. Depends on, exactly what it is you're trying to do and how complicated you want it to be. UE5 retargeted AnimBP distorts skeletal mesh. Yeah, I know it does. I've seen some weird shit already, like trying to take UE4 animations and bring them in on the new dudes. Oh yeah, that's fucked up. Trying to take the new animations and bring them in on the old dude. Oh yeah, that's fucked up. Been there, done that, and got the shirt. Certainly have. UE5 motion warping not translating. UE5 IK retargeter. Paragon Rictor hook animation. Retargeting UE5 issues IK rig. Metahuman. What is bone space? Possible collision or physics issue. Well, I don't really see anything in here that's like I don't see anything in here that's like, hey, we need to read this. UE5 third person template jump animation works. He's trying to figure out how the jump animation works. They did some weird shit, right? I don't know. It's like trying to read Mandarin. I have no idea. They've got all kinds of crazy shit going on in there for something as simple as a jump. I mean, to give them credit, you know, the biggest thing that they're trying to do is to prevent foot sliding, because that's the biggest damn thing that anybody ever bitches about when it comes to animation. How come I got this foot sliding? That's why that's the whole reason for like the start walk, stop walk, start walk left, start walk right, start walk backwards, start walk back. That's the whole reason. All that damn shit is simply to try to prevent foot sliding. That's what it all is at the end of the day. That's what all that extra complication is for, is to try to prevent foot sliding. And you know, that shit never really bothered me much. Like, I don't know why it never did, but it just never did. I'm like, who gives a shit if your foot slicks a little? Who cares? It's a fucking game. But apparently somebody gives a real big damn about that kind of stuff. So much of a damn, in fact, that they would take a simple third-person template and complicate the ever-loving shit out of it. That's how much they hate it. Rendering, audio, pipeline and plugins, marketplace, creator sub, showcase. Got skills, looking for talent. We could get a job, and then we could go read Portuguese. So I guess that's about the end of it. That's the end of that. Forum surfing ain't very long these days. All right, so what do you guys want to get into now? I guess we can go into the engine and mess with some shit. Y'all want to go mess with some shit? We could go mess with some shit. I don't know what we're gonna do. Let me think here for a minute. What could we get into? We need to get into something interesting instead of just bullshitting all day. We need to do something. The last couple of videos I've made ain't been nothing but a bunch of bitching. We ain't done much of shit. We need to find something to do. I guess we'll go into Unreal Engine 5. Oh my God. Are we really going in here? Create one of these fantastical default third-person templates here. Doop-de-doo, doop-de-doo. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, my foot is not flipping. I'm never gonna let them live this down. You guys know that? Or we made a character fly. Remember that video? We took those some janked up Paragon animations and we made the character fly. I'm just running around in circles here trying to see, look, and her feet still fucking slide. I'm trying to think of something that we could do here. We could do, we could try to do the camera switching deal between first and third person, right? We could do that. I've only ever done that in one project. But I did it a very specific, unique way. And so we could, I mean, I'm not going to bring in a million animations in here, but we could maybe demonstrate how I did it, if I can remember. A smooth transition between first and third. And you guys in chat know how I did it? And you guys remember? I talked about it one time. And you guys that's been around here a million years, you guys remember how I did it? Actually, you know what? I think, yeah, I still got this little FP starter project here. Maybe we go in here and do it. I think I already got this one set up as first person, so it would just be, shit. And that really annoys me that they did that. Have to come in here to delete shit. They better fix that shit right quick. Oh no, I didn't do a timeline, Scott Lang. I certainly did not. Let's see, extract files to Unreal Projects. I might actually have to open my reference up to remember exactly how I did this. But we can give it the close enough for government work treatment. Yeah, so I have this. We already have a first person character set up in here. Okay. So, if we open up this blueprint and what the hell did I do? A button press for that? Yeah, I did. If we look at the viewport, we already have the first person camera here. So what it would be adding the third person part, right? So that would require a spring arm. Why is that not showing up? Oh, I guess that's why. It would be adding a spring arm, and we call it camera boom. Camera boom. And we'll put that about there. Okay. Now here's where it gets really weird. Okay. Prepare yourselves. So there is a node in here called something like set view target, and it's under context sensitive. Here we go. set view target with blend. Now, the reason that it is under the context sensitive, just as a tip here, when you hover over this, it tells you where that is located. Do you see where it says target is player controller? So that means you have to get the player controller, okay? And that's why when you search for it here, it doesn't show up. So what you would do is you would set up a key press. In this case, we're going to try middle mouse, okay? Middle mouse. And then you have to get the player controller, right? So you would say get player controller. And if you don't have a custom player controller, which I don't know, did I actually put one in here? I don't know, did I? I don't know. It's definitely not in there. So no, I didn't. Okay, so then that means it should be using the default player controller, which means if we were to cast to player controller, let's see, where is it? I guess it's this. Or maybe you don't even have to cast, right? Let's just try to pull out of here and say set view. There it is. Set view target with blend. That is the node. Okay. But what's really strange about this, and I don't know why Epic did this, but if you hover over right here, it says new view target. And it says new actor to set as view target. So you would think that you could just take a camera, like if we were to just add a cam here. Shit, I did that again, really. You would think that you could just put a camera here like this, and then attach that camera to the spring arm, wherever that is, right there, drag it over the top of it and drop it. You would think that you could do this, right? You would just bring in the camera that you want to switch to, and you would plug it in, and you would be wrong, right? Because this is a camera, it's not an actor, okay? So what I do instead of that is I create an actor blueprint that simply has a camera in it. Okay, so here's what I mean. If we come in here, right mouse click, create a blueprint class, create an actor, and just call it BP follow cam, like so. Open this blueprint and simply add a camera to it. We now have a actor blueprint with a camera. Okay, which then means you can plug it in here. So now you can, you know, depending on exactly what the hell it is that you're doing, there's a couple different ways you could attach this. Okay, so one way is the whole event begin play, right? You guys remember this? And you could do a spawn actor from class, and you could spawn it here. It would be follow cam, BP follow cam. So in other words, you attach it just like you would a weapon. You spawn the actor, you spawn it at the spawn transform of the mesh of the character, then you attach it to the spring arm, right? That's what you would attach it to. So that's one way that you could do it. However, another way that you can attach an actor is come over here and add what's called a child actor. Okay, a child actor, just like that. Okay, and then you can plug in right here the BP follow cam, right? And now you have it here. Okay. Now, to get this attached to the spring arm, I think that if you take the child actor and then parent it to the camera boom, it attaches it, right? So you don't even have to attach it. You can attach it that way. So now this child actor becomes a child of the camera boom, and you can see it attaches it at the end. And we can call this VP follow cam. Okay. All right. So there you have it. And then all you have to do here is you bring in that reference here, and out of that you type child, and you get child component. Maybe it's get child actor, like this, and then you can plug that in there. Okay. That ain't quite the end of the equation, right? Because now that you do that, what you have to do, I believe, is you have to disable this camera. So you pull out of the FPS cam and you type disable. Maybe it's deactivate. Yeah, it's deactivate. And then you have to, what did we call that? Did we actually even name that cam anything? No, it's just called camera. We should have probably named that to follow cam. Maybe there won't be a naming conflict. I guess we'll see. So from the child actor, you follow. No, we don't need to. Well, I mean, it's saying that we need to cast. I wouldn't think that we did. Well, I guess we do, right? So then you cast to that. That needs to be deactivated by default, by the way. So you select in the blueprint, you go to the follow cam, and over here somewhere, there should be an auto activate thingamajig, activation, auto activate. You don't want that auto activated. You want to manually activate and deactivate it. So here, this would be activate follow cam. Something like that. Now let's just see. See, this is probably going to blow up. Every time I get in here doing this, I feel like Wile E. Coyote playing with an Acme Dynamite kit. So if we hit that middle mouse, bam, it did. It switched. See that? So now we got to reverse that. Obviously, if you want to go back, don't ever use these, but we're gonna, right? A flip flop. Don't ever use these, but we're gonna in this instance. So the first time we press it, we're going to turn on the follow cam, and now we need to undo this, right? So we're going to Control D to duplicate this node, and now when we press B, we're going to come down here. The new blend is going to be the FPS cam. No. I think we can just leave that blank, right? Because, yeah, maybe self, right? Maybe let's do this. Let's get a reference to self, and we'll use that. Okay. And then we need to activate the first person cam. So we'll pull out of that and type activate. So we got to turn this one back on. And then we've got to deactivate. So we'll duplicate this. Out of the child actor, we go here. And this time around, instead of activate, it's going to be deactivate, like this. And this ain't even including hiding the meshes and stuff. Why do we have an error? This blueprint self is not a player controller, and therefore target must have a connection. Okay, so it's saying it needs a player controller. Well, it's the target, right? And we still need self. I had that right. I just forgot to plug up the player controller. And compile that and save it. And now let's see what happens here. Right, now this ain't hiding the meshes. So if we mash it, we're third person. We can't pivot up and down, so that'll have to be looked at. And if we mash it again, whoa, it comes back. Okay, now you see how snappy it is? See that? Well, that is exactly what this value right here is. This value. So if you were to put in something like 2 here and 2 here, that should smooth that out some, potentially. No, that's still not enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it's the blend time, right? Duh. Oh, can't you read? Hell no, I can't read. Set that to 0 here. Set that to 0 here. And it's the blend time, right? So maybe that should be something like 2. And this blend time should be 2. Are you guys paying attention over there? Did I already kill everybody in chat already? Oh, look at that. That's maybe just a hair too slow, but there you go, right? There's the blend between, and now see, here's the thing. When you're in third person view, you've got to set the arms hidden and the lower torso mesh hidden. And then you got to unhide it as you go back. Right? So, and also, you can't pivot up and down, right? So that's, what the hell was that? I never can find this shit, but there is a, use pawn control rotation bullshit in here somewhere. I guess it's, I guess it would be on the spring arm, right? Isn't that where it would be? It would be on the camera boom. Ah, there it is. Use pawn control rotation. So when we go to third person view, we need to take the camera boom, and you know, this should probably be done somewhere closer to the front. And this would be use pawn set, use pawn control rotation to true here. Let's see if that gives us the pivot. We might not have to turn it off on the first person one. There we go, and we can pivot. And now when we come back, we can pivot. There we go. I mean, I guess we could use that. I guess we could forego that. I mean, it seems as though when you activate and deactivate, you wouldn't need to do this, right? So you could just take the camera boom and have that turned on by default. Because when that camera is not activated, it probably won't use it, right? So we're pivoting. And then when we do this, we're pivoting. And then when we come back, we're pivoting. There it is. So there you go. Voila. And of course, we need that crosshair to be up above their head. So that would be the camera boom in the socket offset in the Z. We need to raise that up to something like 85. There we go. And then it's a simple matter of, as soon as we pan out to third person, we need to hide the arms and the lower torso, right? So, I mean, I always get screwy with these order of operations. I try to think through, like, okay, the first thing that needs to happen is this. The next thing that needs to happen is this. You know, it happens so quickly here. If you're not using any delays or anything, it really don't matter. But you could take the torso mesh and you could say set hidden in game, and that would be new hidden. And then you also need the arms mesh, and you can use the same node here and compile that and save it. And then we need to undo it down here, right? So Control D to duplicate that, and you would undo that here. Now the timing of this is going to have to be adjusted probably, because you'll catch a wind of it. So it's hidden, right? Don't see it. And then when we come back, see how quick it comes back instantly. So you would actually have to wait until the blend is over, right? So maybe there's nope, it doesn't have an output. So I guess that needs to happen instantly down here. So we could undo this, and let's just move this to happen before we even start the blend, right? So we'll hold down left control, we'll do this, and then we'll do this. How about now? Now this ain't for multiplayer, by the way. It has to be done a little different for multiplayer. All right, so the arms and shit's gone, and it comes back instantly, which is still not right. Of course it's not right. We're going to have to put in some kind of a funky delay here. Yeah, so at the end of this, right here, we need to put a delay. I don't know, what, 2? That's what we put in the other one. Will this match up? Shit, I don't know. What is it, 2? Is that 2 seconds? Well, hell no. Is it 2 minutes? I don't know. Right? We're just going to have to punch values in here until it looks fucking right. That 2 is just, you know, that's just really too much. That's too long of a blend, I guess. But you guys get the idea. You guys that follow this channel, you guys are smart. You understand. And see, you could probably wait. I don't know. Let me just look here. Instead of 2, let's just put 1 in here. That's way, I mean, sure, we want it to be a blend, a smooth criminal blend, but that's a little bit much there. What, 5 minutes to blend between first and third? Too damn much. There, that's a little better. Oh. And now, somehow, I broke something else. So what the hell did I just break here? That's what, too quick or too long? I don't know. We could sit in here until the cows come home tweaking on this. Wow, that's entirely too long. So I don't know what the hell that was all about, but That's entirely too long. Two was too fast or too slow. Maybe 1.5, maybe. Fine. There it is. So that's how I do, not for multiplayer, but that's the general gist of how I do the switch from first to third. I use that built-in node called set view target with blend, but since it requires a actor as the source, you have to actually put the camera in a separate blueprint for third person, which ain't a big deal. I mean, if you can attach it with the child actor way that we just did it, or you could just have the game spawn it in and then attach it, just like you would a weapon. But that saves you from having to do timelines or trying to set up some kind of funky lerp, right? You can just use the built-in set view target with blend method. And there's different settings on there. Like, I'm not going to sit in here and dick around with it, but you got whatever the hell that does. And then you got all these different kinds of blends, ease in, ease out, pre-blended, blah, blah, blah. Guys can go mess with that until the cows come home. Where this shit gets really complicated is in multiplayer. And it even gets more complicated when you got fucking weapons and stuff, right? Because when you're in this view, you need to see a certain set of weaponry, and all the effects need to spawn in a certain place. And then when you're in this view, you have to use a different weapon, and the spawn locations will be in a different place. But the person looking at you always needs to see the effects and stuff coming from the third person gun. That's when shit gets really stupid. I've only ever set up one project that way for multiplayer, and I said that I would never fucking do it again after I got it done. And that product is not for sale anymore, for controversial reasons. Okay, now what? Oh, why didn't you just put the camera on the damn head? And you wouldn't have to mess with any of that stuff. Because I choose not to. That's the cheap, generic way. And you get all kinds of clipping and shit too. I mean, even with this needs more tweaking. Like, see how we're clipping in our body when we first activate it? So there's still even a little bit more tweaking that needs to be done, but that's the general gist of it. See there, that still ain't quite right. Yeah, well, whatever. You guys asleep over there? What are we going to do now? Nothing, nothing. I got nothing. Danny K, I will stab you. I wouldn't do prone not replicated, let alone trying to do replicated. Forget it. Ain't gonna happen. If I ever tried to play a game and it had prone in it, I would immediately hit the uninstall button. That's actually not true. I played Call of Duty 1 and I think it had prone in it. Of course, I never used it. There, it did it again. So there's something screwed up with the timing here. Sometimes it acts like it don't. I don't know. Whatever. Close enough for government work. Let me think. What else can we do? I don't know. See there, it did it again. I guess maybe the delay is not the right way to do this. It looks like they would have on that node a way that you could trigger it after the blend is completed. But I guess they don't. Time taken to blend. Used by certain blend functions to control the shape or the curve. That ain't it. So I guess they don't. It would be useful if they had a output here that gave you the precise time that when this finished the blend, you could set a delay, right? Kind of like they do when you play a montage. You know how you can get the duration it took to play the montage? It would be useful if they had that on this node, where you could get the duration it took to blend here, output. And then you could use that to set the delay instead of trying to guess how long it takes. Unless I'm missing something, right? Maybe we could investigate, right? So is there, let me just pull out of this and type blend. No, there's nothing, right? Like nothing. I thought maybe it would be a separate node where you could say get blend rate or some bullshit like that, but I don't believe that there is. Get custom blend mode. That's material stuff. No, there ain't nothing in here. Nope. Well, I wouldn't say there's nothing in here. There's probably a way to do it. But it would be better if they just put it on the output here. Let's see here. Have you tried their new retargeting system? It's cool because you can see the results before duplicating them. No, I haven't. I'm not a retargeting guy. I do not and will not retarget stuff. I never did fix the crouch in here yet, but all this stuff's gonna have to be redid anyway. So it don't matter. You know, there is one thing that I never did figure out how to fix using the built-in crouch functionality. How snappy the camera is. There's no way, using the built-in stuff, there's no way that I can think of to blend that and make that smoother. Now you can go in there and manually do crouch, and you can set up some sort of a timeline or a lerp or something like that. But the built-in crouch that you can use, it don't, as far as I know, it don't have a way to prevent that snap. And also, it doesn't move the crosshair very much either. See there, it just barely moves that damn crouch. Maybe that's the eye height. Is that what that setting's for? You know what? Let's go investigate. Is that actually what the hell that's for? Let's search for crouch eye height 32. What is that? Centimeters? Let's just see if that's 15. Let's see if that makes that move any. I don't think that's what that does, but let's just see. I've never even bothered trying to change it. Oh, wait, we need to crouch. Yeah, I see there, that don't change it. That's not it. That's something else. I suppose you could maybe parent the spring arm to the mesh, maybe. We can try that since we're just dicking around here. I don't care if I blow this up. Do you guys care if I blow this up? I don't care. So if we was to take the camera boom and parent it to the third person mesh, where the hell is it? Right there, right? So if we take the camera boom and parent it to the mesh, and then we reset this. Oh wow, so that parents it to the root bone, it looks like. You'd probably end up having to create a socket. Because when you crouch, that root bone ain't going to move. Bet. Yeah, it ain't. Well, we could try it this way, right? So let's experiment here. So if we come into the skeleton here, and we create what? Where would we put that? On spine 1, maybe? Right click, add socket, and call it camera boom. Oh wow, it's not even typing. You stupid piece of shit. Camera boom socket. It may make it shaky as hell. I don't know. I ain't never tried it. So if we just create a socket there, and now we have a camera boom socket, and we reset that. I believe it's moving the camera with the animation, right? So that's fucking terrible. That'll be shaky. But that might get it done, right? So that when you crouch, nope. Still don't fucking do it. Well, that sucks. Oh, wait a minute. It's because we're not activated. Right? That's what it is, right? So if we was to do this, yeah, there you go. But now you've got the camera shaking with the animation. So you can do it that way, but let's see, where would you create the socket where there wouldn't be all that movement? I suppose it would be on the root bone, right? So let's try moving that to be the root. And we can move that up. Oh no, because the root bone doesn't move, right? And that's the whole point of doing what we did was so that it would move, right? So no, that wouldn't mean a hill of shit. I love experimenting. I really do. So is there another way? I mean, the only thing that moves when you crouch is the capsule gets a little smaller. I suppose maybe, I mean, it looks like it's already parented to the capsule. Yeah, it is. So the capsule moving doesn't move it enough to make a difference. So the only other thing that moves when you crouch is the character. And if you attach it to the character via a socket or a bone, Well, then it's going to move with the animation, which then means the animation is going to affect the stability of the camera. So that's no good. That's no good. And the eye height don't do shit. And the capsule half height, all that's for is just to make sure that, you know, when you're crouched, the character stays inside the capsule so that you can't clip through shit. So that's no good. So the built-in crouch is shit. So you'd have to create your own custom one. Enable camera lag. If true, camera lags behind target position to smooth its movement. Is it really that easy? Get that snap out? Is that really what it is? I'm fixing to lose my shit. Nope. Ain't that easy. It never is. Unless these values suck. Lag max distance. Draw debug lag markers. What the hell is that? Probe. What is the probe size? Extra large. Sorry. I think probably next week I'll start trying to do the update for the FPS basic template. Get it UE5 ready. Well, I guess that's the end of that. Nice experimentation. We did something. Normally I don't do shit in these streams and sit here and whine all day. We actually did something this time. You guys didn't give me nothing to do over there except for prone and multiplayer and retargeting. I'm glad they got that TPS template fixed. I was beginning to wonder if that shit was ever going to get fixed. That would be bad. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do when it comes to my custom third person template. I may end up just having no choice but to start from the shit that they provide, as bad as I would hate to. I just wish they hadn't overcomplicated that stuff. Well, you guys got anything else before I leave? Nothing, nothing. I got nothing. Look through some of these assets again. Maybe we could find something in here. God, there's that advanced locomotion system. Jesus. That's even more complicated than the one Epic put out, I believe. Wonder if they've updated that to 5 yet. Yeah, they did. I wonder if they redid that little UFO that was in here using the new physics engine instead of the old one. I wonder if they redid it. There's all that damn Western shit, all these horse animations and shit that I bought. I don't see nothing in here. You know, there is one thing that we didn't look at, and that was if those animations out of that Lyra starter project collapses the wrist on the old default UE4 mannequin. I didn't pay no attention to that. Did you guys pay any attention to that? I didn't pay any attention to that. That would be something worth knowing, probably. So, what we're going to do is create a default third person template. And we'll go get that animation, bring it in there and look and see how jacked up it is. maybe we could retarget, right? Like first retarget those animations from the new mannequin to the old mannequin. You know, sometimes you can get better results that way, right? Like maybe what we should try to do is if we're using the new mannequin and we do a retarget before we export them, maybe we can get that wrist collapse not to happen. That's what we're going to do. So we're not done yet. We're going to do some more experimentations here. Before I commence to making something, I'm going to make damn sure that I've got my bearings straight this time, because I'm tired of rebuilding shit 10,000 times. So before we even do that, let's first check to see if we can get some better results by doing a retarget first. So we will create a default third-person template in Unreal Engine 5. Export the dummy and bring it in so that it doesn't have that post-process shit going on. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We need to, I'm going to use the simple one, right? So we're going to export the simple mannequin to the desktop. No, 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 and no. And then we're going to make a new folder called testing, and we're going to import that dummy. If this works, I'll be shocked, but it may, right? I've seen crazier shit happen. No, we're going to use this physics asset, and we need no materials and no textures, and go. Okay, that's fine. Stay just that way. Don't you change. You stay just the way you are. So now we need to go get an animation out of that Lyra. I don't have that open already, do I? Nope. Oh, we got to retarget it first. So hopefully they got all that retargeting shit set up in here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Well, that'd be a pisser if they didn't, wouldn't it? So if we take rifle, jog, forward, right click, retarget, duplicate, enter, and retarget. And we use the shit. I don't even know how to work this anymore. Retarget mannequin, UE4, UE5. No, we need UE5 to UE4. And we need a new folder called testing. And we will change that to testing and go. I mean, this will answer the question of I don't know. That wrist on that guy don't look too jacked up. Or does it? Yeah, it kind of does. I don't know. We'll see. So now, asset actions export to the desktop. None of that crap. And then we go in here, import. Yep. Oh yeah, it looks fantastic. Fuck me. That's these settings over here. I tell you what, I have no goddamn idea what all this bullshit does, but it's a pain in the balls. So set that to skeleton, and then all these go to animation. I just want to know if the wrist is jacked up, which it probably is. I don't know why they call that IK retargeter. All right, and then the pelvis. There we go. What do you guys think? Wrist bent? Yep. So no, they ain't no getting around that shit. I think we did that right. So we retargeted this to the default UE4 mannequin, and then we exported the retargeted version. Did we export the retargeted version? Yep. So no, that ain't going to get it done. You got to use that shit that they have set up. That is such bullshit. I mean, I bet you could bring it in on the default dummy. This one. But that kind of defeats the purpose, man. If if you're wanting to use the new stuff. Yeah, I mean, his wrist looks kind of fine here. I don't know what it would look like on an actual character, not just the dummy. But that looks fine there. So you could use all them animations on the... I mean, it's still got the shoulders jacked up, just same as it was before, without even doing a retarget. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like without even bothering to do a retarget. So we're going to put RT on this one, and we will go... Jesus Christ, all these windows. Let's do it without even bothering to do a retarget and see if they look the same on the default dummy. Rifle. Jog. Forward. And this one has no retarget at all. Yes, we know all these bones are missing. That's fine. See, it didn't give that error when we did the retarget. But do they look the same? Well, this one comes in with root motion, but that's okay because you can just do that. Okay, and then we'll open that other one. They look exactly the same to me. So the retargeting didn't make a shit hell of difference. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of them's, let's see here. Let's pause this, scrub it back to the beginning. Pause this, scrub it back to the beginning. It looks like maybe his arm's closer on one than it is the other. Let's slow this camera down. Slow this camera down. Yeah, I mean, that's roughly up against his chest. And that one isn't. Right, so there is definitely a little bit of a difference if you do a retarget first. So this one on the left has no retarget, period. And this one does. And you can see how close that is to his chest on this one, which is not as close on this one. See? So there is a minor difference if you do a retarget first, but not enough to matter to me, really. Actually, I think I prefer the one that's not retargeted, because this one right here, as soon as you put a gun in his hand, that shit's probably going to clip. Yeah, I mean, look, it's already clipping into his chest right here. And this one, it never clips. See? So no, retargeting sucks. As always. It always does, and that's why I don't bother messing with it. See, through that entire animation, it never clips. But yet this one, that one clips 3, 4, 5 different times, see? Screw retargeting. Useless. Well, that's out, guys. See, I bet you this one, see, look right here. Even in this Lyra project, it says right here that it's still using that same post process. And if you disable it, look at that, wrist flap up. So it is definitely the goddamn post process that they're doing. Whatever that does is making animations that don't look worth a damn look worth a damn. If that makes any sense. Whatever the hell they're doing in that is apparently important. I wonder if it's, I mean, obviously, well, if they're doing that post-process shit, then that means you're going to have to, I'm trying to figure if there's some sort of a damn way that we could undo some of that stuff. All right, so let's bring this back in here. And let's put it on the real McCoy. Let's see. Wrist is crushed. You switch it over to the non. Wrist is not crushed, and that is using the post process. You disable it, it fucks it up. And then if you go into edit, I wonder if you only use the control rig and unhook all the rest of this shit. Wow, that completely breaks it. So nope, you got to have that. As soon as we switch it over, yep, it's broke. So you definitely got to have that control rig shit hooked up. Well, actually, what happens if you just bypass the control rig? Hey, hey, hey. And the wrist is collapsed. Well, it's disabled, so if we enable it, yeah, see there? So it's in that fucking control rig. It's a combination of the control rig, because if you unhook all these pose drivers, that breaks everything. Like it literally won't even play at that point. Yeah, so see there? It won't even play at that point. Well, that's because it's unhooked, right? Hold on. Hold on. Let's see what happens if I just skip every damn bit of this. And it's broke. No, it's actually running. Yep, so see, that don't do shit. Okay. So if we go straight into control rig and then come out this backside, see if we skip all this pose driver bullshit. See what that does. Oh, look at that. So that means that you could get rid of every bit of this, whatever the fuck that does. And as long as you have the control rig hooked up, that works. But the moment that you skip this control rig, it's broke and it don't do shit to try to change it. Okay. Well, I mean, that's better than nothing. At least you can get rid of whatever the hell all this bullshit is. Let me just make sure. Yep, that works. Okay. So now what we can do is go into the control rig, which is all this fucking stuff. Wonder how much of this stuff is needed or not needed. Right? So if we were to skip every bit of this, well, you can't skip all that. I mean, you could unhook it completely. Let's just see what happens if we unhook every single bit of that. Yep, it's broke. So I wonder which part of this is actually what's fixing that. So if we unhook that, that's this bit right here. Let's see if that breaks it. Yep. So that definitely be fucking hooked up. I bet you these is to do with the arms, right? So yes, that's definitely the arms. Is all this fucking arms? Hell yes, every bit of that's arms. What about this shit? That's arms. That's the right arm. So this must be the left arm stuff. Yep. So that's left arm, right arm. And this is probably thigh and legs and shit. And that'd be left. This would be left. And this would be the right. Same shit. Yep. So we unhook that. And unhook that. That's getting rid of the leg stuff. Which it would probably be broke. You know, remember where I was having trouble with the strafing animations on the female? It'd probably be the same thing. You unhook the leg shit, and then that would come back. See? So that works fine. By just unhooking the leg stuff. But the moment you unhook the arm, see, if I was to leave, so that is the left arm that's broke. So if I unhook the right arm stuff, it should still work. Well, I say it still works. I mean, he's got a bend right here. And I bet that shit right there gets corrected with this, with this other stuff. Right, so let's see here. If I plug that shit back up. Yep, see there? So no, there ain't no fucking getting around that. Like 0.0 getting around that. So Scott Lang asked about recording the animation. I mean, I could try that, but there ain't no way in fucking hell I'd sit and record and edit all these animations. There ain't no way in hell that I would do that, but we could try it, like record it corrected and then export the corrected one, recording, bring it back in and see if that wrist collapse again. We could try that. Shit, let me start this process over because I don't remember how much bullshit I changed. Right? So hold on. We'll try that. So get rid of these two. And that's all we have is that. Okay. So we've got the simple mannequin. Was this the retargeted one or not? I don't know. We'll just re-export it. Okay, so we need the animation. Actually, we need to record it, correct it. Okay, so actually what we need to do is pause this animation. Hit record. I still have this testing folder. Yes, I do. So we'll hit OK, hit play, record a couple cycles of that. Okay. And then we go into testing. Why did this fucking put this on the dumbass? Why did this do that? Like, that shouldn't have done that. Why did that happen? Oh, I bet I know why. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I see what I did there. Now let me go look and see if that's actually correct. It is. Right, it's showing corrected, but that don't mean shit because this one's got all that control rig bullshit hooked up. So we will export this. And then in this testing folder, we can just do it in here. Let's get rid of these two. Okay, and then import from the desktop the simple skeleton. Yes, create your own stuff. It's fine. Use that physics asset. No animation. No new materials. And go. Okay, there it is. That's fine. And then we import the recorded animation that was recorded with the correct stuff. That is the correct skeleton. Yep, testing. That's fine. Yep, I know. I know. Lots of bones gone. And we pause this and we go look. And hey, look at that. I'm a son of a bitch. But do you realize how much fucking work would be involved in going in here and trimming these animations and making them loop? Right? Because this is definitely not going to be looping. But it did fix it. But that means you would have to record jog forward, jog backward, jog left, jog right. And then you would have to go in there and trim the animation so that they all loop. So fuck that noise. That would take shit. You'd be better off just to create your own goddamn set of animations from nothing before, I would do that. But it seems to have worked. Just doing the recording over the corrected animation. So see, that right there tells you that these animations that they're using were fucked up. And they did all that control rig bullshit and post-process stuff to fix and finesse the fuck ups, right? That's exactly what that's doing. So, like, let me show you. Let's see. If we were to, let's just create the default third person template again and bring it in. I mean, it would work. That would work, but that would just be too much work. Man, you would have to record every one of them animations. Then after you get them all recorded, you would have to go in there and trim every single one of them to make them all loop. Meaning you would have to go in there and scrub it till the foot starts to move, and then scrub it to the, you know, a couple cycles to the right foot's on the ground, and then you would have to make every single damn one of them match. Bullshit. No. Mm-mm. That is strange, though, that corrects it. So bring in the simple skeleton. Let it create one. I ain't gonna even put that on there. No, we don't want no new materials. Who gives a shit? Let it make its own physics asset. This is a test. This is only a test. Okay, and then import that recorded animation. I just want to make sure that it works. Why didn't it put the materials on this time? Stupid piece of crap. Yep. And then that'll be Manny too. There. Put your clothes on. Nobody likes naked mannequins. Also, it took the root motion out too, by the way. You noticed that. So see, it's not using that post-process bullshit. And if we come in here and look at that. Wrist is fine. So that's how you could do it. Anybody got that kind of time? Anybody want to sit and record all these and trim them up so that they loop? Fuck that noise. Who's got that kind of time? That is so strange that would fix it. Why didn't they just make the animations correctly in the first place? I don't get it. They got a whole entire game studio. They ain't got a damn animator that can fix this shit? I guess not. I wonder if I could even make this loop. Let's see how bad he's got a hitch in his giddy up. So see there, when it gets to the end of the animation. Nope. Now there used to be a way that you could, like, how was that? What, did you right click here? And there was no, not time format, insert frame, no. Append in the beginning, append at the end. There used to be, which there ain't now, I don't guess. Let me go look in this Unreal Engine 4. There used to be a thing where you could kind of get you could get it to try to make it loop, right? So I don't know. I don't know. They might have took that shit out. But it seems like I remember something that would do that, but it never worked. It never worked. But we'll go look anyway. It seemed like you just right clicked and there was something like insert looping frame or some bullshit like that. I don't know. So if we were to take the walk, duplicate this for a second here just to see. Wasn't there a, if we pause this, wasn't there a right click? No, it ain't that. Maybe it's down here. Add key to none. No, maybe it's down here. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it was up here. Asset. Ah, there it is. Look. Add looping interpolation. That's what it's called. I knew I seen that shit somewhere. So does this actually have that too? Asset. Add looping interpolation. It says add an extra first frame at the end of the animation to create interpolation when looping. So if we do this, let's see if it's that easy. Of course it ain't. Right? See if he hitches. No, actually, I don't know. Maybe it did work. No, I still see the hitch. So what you would have to do in order to actually make this loop would be some bullshit like this, right? So you would have to pause this animation and you would have to scrub it to a point, like maybe his left foot down. We could change their perspective to right. Zoom in here. Nope, not right. We need left. No. Left, right, front. Ah, there we go. So if you look at the front, so that is his left foot, I believe. Hang on here. See how much of a pain in the dick this would be? This would be an inordinate amount of work, right? So you would have to do some shit like this. You would have to say, okay, that is his left foot. And then you would change the perspective to like the front. And you would say, okay, we're going to select, we would do his left foot, like get the left foot bone. Nope, the ball, right? And then you would scrub that animation to that point was like right here in the middle. And see there, we can't even. Well, hell, it doesn't matter. You would get that point like right as close to that as you could. Like right there. And then you would delete all the frames before that, right? So that is on, it looks like frame 26. So right click, remove frame 0 through 26. Shit, no, that still didn't work. I hate how they changed this too, by the way. I can't operate it. See, that's, let me see, can I zoom in even closer? Where I can get individual frames. 79, 80, let's see, 78. There we go. So 0 through 77 would be what we need. Shit. There ain't no way in hell that would work. 0 through 77. There we go. 0 through 77. Well, fuck, that still didn't do it. Anyway, I wouldn't go through the trouble, but basically what you have to do is trim the animation till his left foot is right here. Then you would have to go and scrub through and get the right foot to be in the exact position, then delete all the frames after that. And that's how you make a looping animation. You got to get the foot to start and end. I guess it's the same. My dyslexia is kicking in. It might be wrong. But essentially, you have to get the feet to start and stop in the exact same place. At the beginning, it's got to start in one place, and then at the end, it's got to stop in the exact same place again. And then it would cycle through and pick right back up where it left off. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. So Scott says, see the comment above. Can you record the animation? They may have messed him up on purpose. I don't know. What are you? I don't know what you're referencing. I don't see no comment about recording. Oh yeah, boy, that really loops good. It's easier. I mean, I don't know how to operate this, right? They've changed this right here some, the way that you scroll in on the frames and shit. It would be easier to modificate them in like Unreal Engine 4, right? Let's just see if I can even make that thing loop, just to see that I'm not talking out of my ass. So let's bring that in here on this dude. I really wish they'd quit changing shit. Makes my life so much harder. So yeah, what you would do is, let's see here. Scrub that to the right foot. And then go into front. See there, even this perspective shit's different. So that would be left. That would be right. The fuck are they trying to do to us here? And then we pick the left foot, the ball, and then we zoom in and scrub. It's about right there. And see how we're dead nuts on a frame? So that means it needs to start at frame 12. So you right click here and you would move frame 0 through 11, and that's not it, right? So you got to go one more frame. So you zoom in here and then you go to frame, well, bullshit. It's not lining up again. I done fucked it up. Right there. So right click. Nope. We need to remove frame 0 through 1. There we go. There. Okay. So now we got to scrub through until we get that foot right back in the exact same place. Right? So we go this way, do a couple cycles. Something like that. Zoom in and scrub, and then remove frame 0 through 30 or after 30. So I'd be frame 31 through 108. Maybe that might be the wrong way, but we will see. There it is. Perfectly looping animation. So that's how you make a looping animation. You got to get the feet to start and stop in the same place. But what would have to happen is you would have to record jog forward, trim it, then you would have to do jog backward, record it, trim it, jog left, record it, trim it, jog right, record it, trim it. And then once you get that, you've got enough that you can then make forward left, forward right, back left, and back right. And then you would have to do the pistol. Then you would have to do the unarmed, and you would have to do all the other ones. And this would also include all the starts and the stops and all that bullshit too, and the turns and all that bullshit. So fuck that. That would literally be like creating an entire animation set. No, he's still got a hitch in his giddy up. See? No, that still ain't exactly right. But it goes something like that. I'm not an animator. But it goes something like that. Screw that. I wonder. I mean, if you was to try to blend, so really to me, no, there's more than just the wrist fucked up on it. It's more than just the wrist. I was about to say, if it's just the wrist, you could use the upper animations of a different set of animations to go with the lower set. But no, I mean, it just really ain't worth it. The only thing that I could say is that you will either have to have jacked up animations and simplify your template, or you're going to have to just use the default third person template and then go in there and implement all them fucking animations into their convoluted, complicated system that they've created. That's the only two ways that I can see that you could get this to even work. And there's plenty enough jacked up animations already. Like if you was to just use the Paragon animations as an example, hey, did I try that? Did I pay any attention to that? Like, did I take any of the Paragon animations and bring them in on the new dummy and look to see if that fucking wrist is collapsed or whatever? Maybe that's what I should do. Right, so we're still not done experimenting just fucking yet, right? So there's always more, right? So if we were to delete all this bullshit, we're going to conduct one more experiment. And that is, what do the Paragon animations look like on the new dummy? And it needs to be some weapon stuff. Like, I mean, there's some twin blast. I think out of all, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I looked at all those Paragon animations, but it seems like that, is this a shit? We're going to have to start this process all over again. I get so confused with all these experiments that I conduct. I can't keep up with shit. Okay, documents, Unreal projects, delete everything but Lyra. Okay, get rid of that. So if there was to be an unarmed set of animations, I think that out of all those Paragon animations, the only one that I found that actually had like an unarmed walk jog type deal was Twin Blast. So that started in 4.19, so we'll have to create a 4.25 version and then add Twin Blast and go dig in there and look and see if he's got like a jog forward, a jog backward, a jog left, and a jog right, unarmed. And might as well just do the default third person template. I don't remember. I mean, we did the whole, we took the Faye character and we made that bitch fly. But we didn't look at like any of the characters that have weaponry. Like, as an example, Wraith. His animations are very similar to the Lyra animations, right? Like, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So if we do a search for, that's probably what they fucking did, actually, just to be honest with you. They probably retargeted some Paragon animations over to that new dummy, and that's what they did, more than likely. So I think that he's the only one that's got a unarmed set of animations, so we'll look at that. And then this Wraith character, he has he's the one carrying the rifle. Now I have no idea where they got the stupid pistol. Isn't there one? Wait a minute. Isn't one of these characters in here carries a pistol? It's the Revenant, right? Doesn't he carry a pistol? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they did. They probably did something stupid like that, more than likely. But we will investigate here, because I can't remember if I took these animations and looked specifically at the wrist of these animations to see if they were screwed up on the new dummy. Damn, I didn't realize this was going to take this long to download. Did anybody ever finish the Paragon clone they were supposed to be making, or did Epic shut them down? There was about 3 or 4 different groups of people that were taking all these Paragon assets and remaking the game. I don't know if they ever actually did it or not. Wow, my stream's crapping out because I'm downloading. Gonna shut down. I don't think Race was as... Come on, don't lose connection. Well, if it skips and hops, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing testing anyway. Okay, so Wind Blast, and we filter for animation sequences, and we look specifically for travel. So we got idle travel mode. Was there not some jog? Maybe that's what it was called. It was just jog. Let's look. Okay. These assets take so long to open. Nope, that's with weapons. Maybe it was run. Nope. Travel. Travel mode start. Turn left. Was there not some damn jogs in here? Idle travel mode static, jump recovery. These are just aim offsets. Oh, it was sprint. They're stupid naming conventions, boy. I tell you what. I tell you what. There it is. Sprint forward. So that would be unarmed. Okay. So if we asset actions, export that one to the desktop. No, 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 no. And no. And then if we look at Wraith, he's the one that's got some weapon stuff. So jog forward. That would be this one. Yeah, so see there, see how similar these are? I bet you they've done some kind of damn janky ass retarget of these onto that new skeleton. Probably. Wow, look at this animation. It's already wigging out. Yeah, I bet that wrist is going to be jacked up, bigger than shit. Look at that. And that's directly from Epic. Look at that wrist, that twist bone. What in the actual hell? And then you guys wonder why we get a hold of stuff and we're like, why is this fucked up? Well, look at that. I mean, really all I want to see is if the wrist is messed up on the default dummy. I'm sure it will be, but we'll give it a look. Asset actions, export. That'll also go to the desktop. Okay. Okay. And then we create a default third person. Export out the dummy. And then create that testing folder, and we'll bring all this stuff in and have a look at it. I could probably tell you it ain't going to work. I mean, you'll get the animations to come in and everything, but I'd be willing to bet you that they're going to have just as many damn issues as the other ones. Okay. So, what is with this plugin shit? I don't even use plugins. Oh, we got to export the characters. Duh. I'll try them both, right? So we'll try the simple and the other one. So export to the desktop. Go. No, 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 and no. Damn, did that export both of them? Oh shit, I did bulk export. God damn it. That's exactly not what I meant to do. Okay, now we're ready. Okay. So we will start with the simple first. Yep, create your own skeleton. Do not create materials. Do not bring textures. I don't care about that physics asset. Nobody cares. Okay. And then we bring in the jog, right? That's the one that we're wanting to look at the wrist. So of course it's going to do this bullshit as always. This is that whole fucking retargeting, show retargeting bullshit. And this gets set to skeleton. And then animation, animation, animation. You know, it's a wonder to me that Epic even gets anything to fucking work. Okay, and then we pause this animation and let's go look at that wrist. Actually, that don't look too bad. Or am I looking at this wrong? That don't look too bad. We may be in business, boys. Yeah, well, it still does that bullshit, so that would have to fucking be fixed. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Wow, look at that. What in the fuck, Epic, happened there? And that ain't because of what we just did. That was doing that in the original project, right? That ain't something we did. How in the hell did they do that? Well, barring that, the wrist looks fine. Okay. Let's bring in that travel mode animation and have a look at that one. So that would be sprint forward. No, that's jog forward. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Well, there it is. So that would work. The Paragon animations, I mean, out of the ones that we just looked at here, these don't look terrible on this character, but you'll notice one thing that you'll notice is that he's way up off the ground. But you could probably fix that. So it ain't the roof that's up off the ground. See, it's on the ground. It's the pelvis. So the only way that you could really do this and get this to, I mean, you could just adjust the character in the capsule, but really that looks like shit. So what you would do is something like this, and you would bring him down. Wait, is there any details here? Yeah, I mean, see, you've got this, but you couldn't just zero that out, I wouldn't imagine, because that'd put him way below the ground. Right, so you would have to do something more along the lines of that. Let's see here. And then you would just add a key. and then that should set him at the ground, more closer to the ground, like that. May have put him just a hair too low, but you guys get the point. So you would have to take the pelvis, move it down, unless you wanted him floating up in the air. Like, I don't know why the hell they done that. It must be something to do with that IK shit that they did. See, and if we remove that track, that key that we added, see, it puts him right back up in the air again. So you could adjust that. Maybe put him back to the beginning. I don't know. Maybe you could do that in a different perspective. Oh shit, snaps are on. Well, hell, that still ain't on the ground. I guess it would be better to just do it this way. Maybe try to... I bet that end trick don't work in here. Nope. There, that don't look terrible. That would certainly be better than going in there and trying to edit all those clip all those damn yeah, I mean, you can slow it down. Scott Lang's asking over in chat, can you slow it down? You can set this right here. 0.8, 0.6. That looks a little weird. Oh, wow. Shit, yeah, let's set it to -8. That'll work. About 0.8, maybe. See, the thing is that that's all he's got, right? Like he's the only thing that he's got is sprints. And that's really the only that I saw. Now maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like that's the only one that there was any non-combat for. The rest of them is always carrying a sword or holding a gun or something like that. But that could be used for the unarmed, and then you could use the wraith animations for the rifle. I think Bellica has like a 2 handheld SMG. I forget how many of them there are. I'm not going to sit here and download all of them, but let's just see. Paragon. Let me just look through here and see if any of them ring a bell. So Decker, she's holding some kind of a staff. I think he's got some kind of a bazooka or some shit. This is some kind of scissors and shit. This is swords. Lieutenant Bellica, I believe she carries a 2 handheld SMG. You got Murdoch. He's got some kind of a rocket launcher or something. You have I believe the Revenant carries some kind of a pistol, a one-handheld pistol. And then, of course, you got Twin Blast that has dual-wielded pistols. Let's see what else. And then, of course, you got Wraith, which he's got like a rifle. The Wraith animations are very similar to the ones in the Lyra project. Like, he's got some aiming animations and stuff, too. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, I'm not going to download Bellica and all that. I'm just going off memory. But Wraith, he's got like jogs. I believe the jogs are the ones where he's kind of holding. Yeah, so see there, these are the ones where he's kind of holding the weapon down, not aiming. But then he has some that are called combat, right? So if you look at these, jog, let's just type combat. I think he's got a whole entire set of jogs in combat. Like jog forward. Where the hell is it? Idle combat? No. Jog backward. Okay, here we go. It'll be in here somewhere. Jog forward combat. So see, he's got some where he's jogging and he's actually aiming the weapon. So there's well, I mean, it would depend on how you want to do it, right? Like if you want it to where he's jogging around with the weapon held down, and the only time he brings up is when he shoots, well, then you would use, it would be set up a little bit differently. Or you could have him just jog with the weapon aimed all the time. Or you could make it where you have two. When he's jogging, he holds the weapon down, and then when he gets to shooting, it switches him into these where he's actually aiming. But that still doesn't account for the one issue, right? Which was this freaking arm flipping out bullshit, right? So that would have to be fixed. I wonder if that's the only one that actually does that. Like, is it only the jog forward that does that? You would have to look through all of them, but you would have to, I don't even know how you would fix that, right? You would have to go to where it flips. That's definitely the lower twist bone that's doing that. So that would be the left lower twist, which would be, God damn, which one would it be? That would be, oh, there's only two of them. That makes it easy. Shit. I guess it's that one. Can we fix that? Add a key there. Shit, so we'd have to unroll it here. Why does everything Epic put out have to be so fucked up? I don't know if you could even fix this or not. How the hell did they mess this up so bad? I don't know. Where's that damn Crispin when you need him? Hey, Crispin, fix this fucking animation. How about it? I think I'm just making it worse. That's so funny. Fuck with me and I just go delete the twist bone. That's what I would do. Just fucking delete the twist bone. Get it out of here. This has got so many damn keys in it. Oh shit. Are we even getting close? All right, that's it. I ain't gonna sit here all night messing with that. There, we made it exactly worse. I believe it's that only that one animation that's actually doing that. Let's see if Jog Backward actually has that same issue. No, that one looks kind of okay. I don't see that rear forearm flip. So it must just be that one. Direct from Epic. That's exactly how it came out of their project. Okay, well, I think I've conducted enough experiments now. Maybe I've got an idea. Maybe. I will keep you guys posted. I may or may not have an idea. I don't know. Let me get all this crap cleaned up, and then I'm getting the hell out of here. All right, let me bring Chad over here. Hello, Mr. Ripper Junkie. It's nice to see you. I was wondering if you ever played Red Dead Redemption 1 and or 2. I think you would like them, especially the second one. It's really good. No, I didn't play them. I looked at them. Like maybe I watched some videos of other people playing them, but I never have played them. Isn't it kind of funny that I don't play games? I mean, I've played some, like I played that World War Z game for a while, got bored with it. I went back and replayed Half-Life 1 and all the expansions. I went back and played Half-Life 2 and all the expansions. I went back and played Call of Duty 1 and all the expansions. The Medal of Honor and all the expansions. And Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I went back and played those again. I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. But I really just don't play games. I would rather make them. Which is weird. Damn, this has been another long stream. I said I wasn't going to stream as long this time, but it looks like I did anyway. But most of it was conducting experiments, okay? Trying to get my bearings as to what I'm going to do with the stupid animation issue that I now have. And so the jury's still out. Like, I don't know. Got all those Paragon animations that can be used. And they seem, quote unquote, seem to look okay on the new dummy. Even the simplified one. Then there is the option of just starting with the default third-person template that comes in Unreal Engine 5 and trying to figure out what in the actual hell all that extra shit they added actually does. That's an option, which that would be the least favorable option in my opinion. And then there is also the recording them corrected and then trimming them all. That's pretty much out. I mean, that's just way too much damn work for that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of leaning towards still creating my own default starter templates for Unreal Engine 5 and potentially using the Paragon animations on it instead of the ones out of the Lyra project. Lyra, whatever it's called. That's probably the more feasible thing to do. Because I just absolutely do not want to deal with all that extra garbage. Well, I call it garbage. It's probably not garbage. All that extra shit they put in the default third-person template. The fucking rig and the goddamn pose driver shit. Post-process animation blueprint shit. I don't think I want to deal with that. So with that, you guys take care. This is John Galt, and I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. If you learned anything on this stream, or you find this stream useful, or you would like to buy me a cup of coffee, there is links to my PayPal in the descriptions of all these videos, and also there is a button on the bottom right of my banner that will take you to my PayPal. So you guys can buy me a cup of coffee or whatever it is you guys want to do. If you feel like it, do it. And if you don't, don't. But generally speaking, the way videos get made on this YouTube page, particularly videos that are not just me conducting a bunch of bullshit experiments, actually demonstrating stuff, those get made by people who make contributions to my YouTube page. So with that, you guys take care. Have a good weekend. This is John Galt, and we will see you in another video in another time. Have a good one, fellows and fellettes, right? There's some fellettes that watch this stuff sometimes.